Hey guys, what's up? This is Freenachos for Freenachos.com. In this video, we're going to go over single raised flop in position pre-flop caller facing the delayed c-bet. And this is going to be a node that is notoriously overfolded by the pool. Even like some of the high stakes players that I've coached over the recent months and years, I've like it's pretty common. Like, it's pretty rare that this node gets defended well. One of those nodes where you can basically play a lifetime while overfolding and think you're doing okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and look at Equilibrium. Going to show you guys some data. We're doing some strategy development, and then we'll look at some common mistakes. All right, so here we can see the folding, calling, and the raising frequencies facing a delayed c-bet, and you can see all distributed pretty equally across different textures. A little bit of raising on pair textures, some less folding, the rest is just more or less the same. All right, so facing delayed c-bet, we can see that the pool is delayed c-betting more often, and basically what they're doing is they're exploiting themselves. So whenever the pool is the out of position player, it's betting too often. Whenever they are the in position player on this node, they are folding too often. And so what they're doing is they're betting too often into an overfolded node. We can exploit the pool betting too often here by just making sure that our range is overprotected and try to over defend when we face a bet. One thing to note there is that you can see here that we can capture an overfold versus each bet size. Like the difference will be smaller the bigger the bet size. But if they go quarter fold, half fold, or 3/4, then the pool will overfold to an in-position raise. So playing pretty aggressively and really fighting for pots is something that you want to do on this node. That's one thing. And the other thing is probably you want to check the previous street a bit stronger. And you definitely don't want to check back too weak, as the pool will just punish you for it. Right, so deliberate drilling. We're going to do slightly different. I'm going to give you a variation of this one, where we export some hands out of our database, and then we're putting them into the GTO Wizard Analyzer, and then basically we can analyze all the hands that we played in this node where we folded, and then the solver will tell us which hands we should actually defend and how big of a mistake it was. And like the deliberate drilling exercises is fine as well. Just wanted to do a variation here. Common mistakes are overfolding, and overfolds are pretty significant. So definitely take that into consideration when you're constructing your ranges. Lean towards overprotecting your flop check range. This will make it easier to defend, and then drill the turn extensively to gain a better understanding of the thresholds. So usually, like, people overfold because of these two reasons. One is they have too weak of a range to begin with because they checked the prior street with a bit too weak of a range. And then the other reason is they basically fold hands that should be called, and like it's just a lack of understanding the thresholds. These are the leaks that are usually hardest to fix, because it's not one thing. Like if you face a c-bet on the flop and you're overfolding it, you just gain a better understanding of the thresholds, and you're going to fix that. Gaining a better understanding of the thresholds might not fix everything, because you might just be checking way too weak the previous street. All right, so I'm going to export all the hands where I check back the flop, face the delayed c-bet, and then fold it. And then I'm going to put those into GTO Wizard Analyzer, and we're just going to go one by one through the hands that I folded to see if there are any reasons to if there's anything we can learn from that. All right, so here we are with some hands in GTO Wizard. There are about 150-ish hands, I think, and all of them in which I folded, and then we can see there's a fair amount where I made a mistake. There's going to be, like, I can already see ace 9 on ace, queen 7-4 is going to, and this is just going to be a misclick. So this is of the last few years. You can see hands that go back to like 2020. So there's definitely going to be some misclicks along the way there. But we'll press through this, such a check. Facing alphabet, this is just a call. Like this is, I'm not that sure. And what's this 2022? I think this is just a call, usually 2-5 as well. Like maybe if there's the nittiest of players, you might, but like, no. This is probably just a threshold mistake. So what I would do here is for flush for straight. So it's pretty interesting. Just go and see if this is very consistent or just an anomaly for pocket deuces. But like, let's say these would be folding, then I might cut myself some slack there. But these are just all calling, and the flush draw is never folding. So I'm going to make an Anki deck here. I'm going to open up Anki and then make some flashcards out of these mistakes sets. I'll create a new set. Big blinds versus small blinds facing 1/3 in there, and we will put using delayed c-bets in there as well. All right, and now we add some flashcards. So first of all, it's this one. And usually what I do is I just go through a bunch more textures and change it up a little bit so I can see, is this just going to be an anomaly? Like, let's say, for instance, we do something along the lines of ace, king, jacks, 10. What do we do with deuces? Put it down into here. So deuce without a dime is equal to defending. But flush draws here still always calling. So we can just confidently say, without going too deep into it, that never fold a flush draw with this. Right, nice. So that's an upgrade. 5-out pair here. Like one thing to consider is that he could pick a couple different sizes here. Although like more powder on the disconnected texture, but king 10 low is probably reasonable. One thing that I would expect most weaker racks to do is choose, basically telegraph their hand strength. So just go a bit bigger when they have a strong hand and a bit weaker when they have a weaker hand. And then the follow through rate on the turn will be higher as well. If anything, I probably want to raise here before folding though. So, but this is something I already know. Like on a texture like this, I would never fold. Oh, this is just, well, okay, min raises, yeah, okay. Doesn't exist in equilibrium, that's fine. Doesn't exist in equilibrium. Somewhere we face a min raise apparently, and 1/3. I would not fold here today. Okay, so we skip that one. Bunch of these non-existing spots, which is a bit annoying. All right, so here we have another one. Okay, and here's the mistake. We just need to bet ourselves. So sometimes you get something like this when you perform this exercise, because like GTO Wizard will look for EV mistakes, and usually you can, like, if I'm going to say it's a check on the flop, then usually it's going to be a mix at worst. So this won't happen too often. This shouldn't happen. This will happen again. We should be betting the flop, so not relevant. I should be betting the flop. All right, so it seems like we actually went through most of the worst ones. Yeah. yeah, and this is fine. We start folding here, and this is not any EV mistake anymore. So over the sample is actually not too bad for me. Obviously, his sample still relatively small. I only included a fraction of the hands that I played in there. I played on many other sides than GG, so yeah, like this will just be part of the hands, and then I excluded hands where I played lower as well. So there will definitely be some more mistakes if I grab like a larger sample, but for now I'm relatively happy with what we found. We found an upgrades, and yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So if you guys have any questions, hit me up in the chat, and talk to you guys soon. Bye.